will be made this week as a black man will become the coach of Oklahoma University's Sooner team. What a day. But today we are going to look at the real story because we want you to truly understand exactly what has happened. And if anything should happen this week, black folks and white folks should stand in line getting memberships in the NACP. Now, anybody that wants to say anything about NACP today, I'm going to let you say it. But I want you to remember one thing. If it had not been for the NACP, we never would have had a black coach at Oklahoma University, Oklahoma State University, or any other integrated university in the state of Oklahoma. Now the big question is, Clara, how did it happen? Let us walk through the pages of history. It was on November the 10th, 1945. Delegates from 86 branches of the Oklahoma Conference of NACP voted in the 11th annual session that occurred in McAlester, Oklahoma, to launch a determined struggle to secure education and educational equality for the Negroes in Oklahoma. Decision was made to attempt to enroll Negro students at the University of Oklahoma and A&M College in Stillwater. There would be students who were looking for greater professional level graduate education. It was to be students that could not afford because the courses were not offered at Langston University. The plan of attack would be similar to that which was done in the Lloyd Gaines case in Missouri. Now there were 200 delegates present in McAlester. And those delegates voted unanimously that we will attempt to integrate Oklahoma University. But it was on January the 14th, Ada Lois Scipio, a beautiful honor student at Langston University, was denied admission to Oklahoma University's School of Law. President George Cross was there. And President George Cross, and I want you to remember that name because unless you know your history, you don't know where you have been and you don't know where you can go. Now, what Roscoe Dungy did was to make arrangements to meet with Dr. Cross. Now, Mr. Roscoe Dungy, the president of the Oklahoma Conference of Branches of the NACP, Dr. W.A.J. Bullocks of Chickasha, the regional director of the Oklahoma Conference of NACP, met with Professor Royden Dangerfield along with President Cross. Now, what actually happened? Ada Lois Scipio was denied admission to Oklahoma University. Now, arrangements were made for a conference to be held at 11 o'clock on Monday when Editor Roscoe Dungy, or President Roscoe Dungy of the NAACP, called President Cross announcing his plans to arrive on the campus of the university with Miss Scipio. Dungy told Dr. Cross he felt that under the circumstances, the entire plan should be speeded up. Well, President Cross agreed to meet, and the conference was set for 10:30 a.m. But delays in Miss Scipio's arrival from Chickasha halted the conference some 30 minutes. When the party arrived at the administration building, they were met in the hallway by an interracial committee of the college who took Miss Scipio in and invited her to have dinner with them. The students immediately went along with Miss Sepia to the president's office, carrying with them the photographer for the Oklahoma Daily campus newspaper. The conference opened with Editor Dungy, President Dungy of the NACP, stating to President Cross that Miss Sepia is not only an honor student from Langston University, but is the daughter of one of the prominent ministers of the state. She desires to enter the School of Law in the University of Oklahoma and will commute daily from Oklahoma City, Mr. Dungy stated. Professor Dangerfield spoke, and he said he felt that the discussion should first occur upon Miss Sepia's scholastic qualifications. And when that professor looked at the almost perfect scholastic score of Miss Sepia, he openly announced to President Cross, "There's nothing wrong here. I do not see how any question could be raised respecting the young lady's scholastic qualification." President Cross then studied the transcript, and he said, "I see nothing wrong with her scholastic qualification." And then President Cross said, "We should take this into the Dean of Admissions and have him pass upon it." Dangerfield left the room and in a very short while returning, saying that Dean Roy Giddens had told him that the transcript met every demand of the law department and the university. Then President Cross said, "That brings me then to the decision that I must make." It was in fact a decision that was reached by the Board of Regents in its last meeting. At that time, we discussed the possibilities of a black trying to enroll at Oklahoma University. That was a lengthy discussion. Following the discussion, Regent Wallace moved that the Board of Regents instruct the presidents of all of the universities in the state of Oklahoma to refuse to admit anyone of Negro blood as a student in the university for the reason that the laws of the state of Oklahoma prohibited the enrollment of such a student in the university. The motion was approved by the Board of Regents. Roscoe Dungy spoke up and said, "Dr. Cross, you are denying to Ada Lloyd Sepia a right which she sought to exercise. You must make an official statement specifying that you are talking about Ada Lloyd Sepia." Dr. Cross agreed that this was right, and he dictated this letter to Miss Sepia, written upon the stationery of the university. "This will acknowledge receipt of your application for admission to the law school of the University of Oklahoma. Dr. Roy Giddens, Dean of Admission, has examined your transcript from Langston University and find that you are scholastically qualified for admission. However, I must deny you the admission to the university for the following reason. Number one, Title 70, Section 452 to 464, inclusive of the Oklahoma Statutes, 1941, prohibits colored students from attending the schools of Oklahoma, including the University of Oklahoma, and makes it a misdemeanor for the school official to admit colored students to white schools, to instruct classes composed of mixed races, to attend classes composed of mixed races. The Board of Regents, then, has instructed the president of the University of Oklahoma to refuse admission to Negroes, given as a basis of their decision based upon the statutes of Oklahoma. Roscoe Dungy, Ada Lloyd Sepia, Dr. W.A.J. Bullocks, standing there at the University of Oklahoma, listening. And then Roscoe Dungy spoke. "We plan immediately to file an action in the federal court demanding Miss Sepia's admission to the University of Oklahoma. on Monday afternoon. Yes, it was a long fight. Scipio versus the Board of Regents of the University of Oklahoma. But it finally ended. Dr. E.W. Perry, Reverend Provo, and others fought. And all over the state, they raised money. People that knew they would never have a chance to go to the University of Oklahoma gave to the NACP, supported the case. And on June the 18th, 1949, Mrs. Ada Lloyd Scipio won her fight to enroll at Oklahoma University. And then a man that history should never forget, G.W. McLaurin. Because, see, Oklahoma, with all of their legal brains, thought that they could admit blacks and then segregate them in the classroom. But George McLaurin took a back seat in order that blacks could take a front seat. And these were NACP cases. And today I would like to congratulate the NACP because the victory at OU and OSU must be NACP victories. Now, Calvin.
First of all, Mom, I'd like to say a happy almost New Year's Eve. And you're absolutely right on with what you're talking about because of the fact that we have to be ready and we have to look back at our history to better prepare ourselves for the future. And Mrs. Scipio and Mr. McLaurin, you, Nancy Davis, the A. Willie Jameses, the Leslie Browns, the F.D. Moons, the Dr. Moons, those people that have been active in the NACP in Oklahoma City and Oklahoma have done so much to make this day possible and to make this day possible for those of us who are black, those of us who are white, those of us who are red, to have one of the biggest smiles on our face because this day, Oklahoma makes a headline that will reverberate throughout this entire world because we will be the first state that will have 2 black football coaches, 1 minority basketball coach. These are major institutions in the nation, and it's the kind of glory that only a Miss Black America, which we also have for the second time in a row, that type of glory that has come to our state because we here are preparing ourselves not just for 1996, but for the year 2020, 2010, 2050. And you know, if back then, before 1946, 1935, and on, there were black people that were struggling somewhere with a dream someday that they would have an opportunity to see their sons, their grandsons, their daughters, their granddaughters, see them in a prominent positions in our state. And we can look around our state and just pat ourselves on the back, even though it's not a political season and we're not going to talk that much about voting, but we have gone a long way in preparing ourselves for the future. And so, Mom, I just want to say a Happy New Year to you. And as someone said, with your mean self, everybody, boy, that last week calls were really something. But that meanness is the meanness that we need to go through the lives that we have to live. The preparedness that all of you have taught us is the type of things that we have to carry with us. So I just want to say that it's a good time, great time for us. So that's about it. And today, a Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you. We also should salute the Ben Harts, the Prentice Galts, those young people that went to Oklahoma University.
The Wallace played. Johnsons.
Yes, name them, Calvin.
Well, I can name a few of them because one of them's son now is playing at Oklahoma State University. And then there's, of course, Wallace and Ben. There's Lee Calhoun who was there in the track. But that whole athletic program at the University of Oklahoma since 1946 has really gone through a fantastic change. And it just gives me a thrill in my heart to see these young men go out there in that crimson and red and to be a part of the University of Oklahoma history. And also to see the young men there at OSU, seeing them being a part of a major state university's history. Not only physically and there on the athletic field, but they're in the classroom too, because I'm certain and I know that we have met people from across the state who excel not on the athletic field, but they're in the classrooms in the different major fields that they have at these universities. I'm proud, and this is an especially proud moment for me here in 1995 because I know that 1996 looks a lot brighter, and I know my people are ready. I know they're going to be ready, and I know they're going to stay ready.
Calvin, it was 1956 when Prentice Galt arrived at Oklahoma University. Now, he was not recruited by Bud Wilkerson, but he arrived in OU because of the Oklahoma City Medical, Dental, and Pharmaceutical Association. At that time, the Oklahoma University Sooners were an all-white squad, and there must have been some surprised looks when Prentice turned out for the freshman football team. It was the end of the all-white team for OU and the beginning of an outstanding college career for Prentice, who was awarded an athletic scholarship for the rest of the time until his graduation. Yes, all of this happened, but it happened because of what organization?
Because of the NAACP, because of the dedication of black teachers, black doctors, and our few black pharmacists that we had, because of the dedication of black parents who would ride the bus and even walk to work in the white homes there in Nicholas Hills and different places to make sure. But then it happened because we decided to work together here as a state. We decided, white people, black people, red people, we decided to get it together. We decided to make a grand step toward, we didn't know what, we called it integration, but what we didn't realize in 1996, 1995, that we can call it the cream of the crop, where we're getting the very best right here out of Oklahoma and in Oklahoma.
Congratulations today and thank you from the Petite Salon, 1917 Northeast 14th Street in Oklahoma City. Mrs. Marie Weekly and us, I would like to say thanks to all of you for making 1995 a very successful year. Thank you and best wishes to you for a new year from the United Drug Store. And this is a discount store with Mr. Graham, located in the heart of Oklahoma City on Northeast 36 and Everett.
Mr. Graham is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. I had to throw that in.
That's why he has always been an NAACP member along with his family.
Life member. Right?
A life member. And we should. Today we ought to stop, and we ought to stop and say thank you, God, for NAACP that made it possible. I don't want to hear this talk about I made it on my own. You didn't make it on your own. You on the back of the McFarland's, Willett Moores, and name them on down the line. You are there, and I'm really happy. But speaking of happiness, Mr. Lamar Moore at Lamar's Beauty Salon, that's Al, would like to extend her New Year's greetings to each one of you at 1732 Northeast 23rd Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Holiday greetings from the McKay Davis Funeral Home located at 1616 Northeast 36th Street in Oklahoma City. Mr. Davis would like to say thank you because you have been a friend during the past year. You have appreciated the kind of services that were rendered by Mr. Davis. The telephone number is 424-3339. All people get ready. People get ready because we got to celebrate, and we do have something to celebrate. Oh, let's celebrate. We got something to celebrate.
And now live.
Us today and saying thanks to the NAACP. And thanks to the NAACP for making it possible for a black coach at Oklahoma University and Oklahoma State University, black people to play. Hadn't been for the NAACP, they were not there. They were not there before 1945 and 46 and 49. But Easy Car Sales, who will finance anyone, no job, no credit. You just need money down, 2800 Northeast 23rd Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Call George Finley. The telephone number is 427-8395. Yes, it's time for us to tell you that Give Me a Free Hand is now operating out of Freedom Center, feeding over 65 people every day at 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Have you heard about Passion Home Care? Have you heard about Passion Home Care?
Mom, are you asking me that?
Oh, Calvin, no, I was not asking you.
Are
I
you
was
asking me if I
asking some
had
of
heard
my
about
friends out there
Passion Home?
because I'm so
Because I can
excited.
tell them a lot about Passion Home Health Care. And that I like that food program that they have every day. Matter of fact, Monday through Friday, and that's a fantastic program. But Passion Home Health Care, now that is a new program that we in Oklahoma City have had an opportunity to work with this year. And you know, it's done so much to help so many people. There's a young man out there that I know he's anxiously waiting by the phone, hoping that he can call in and brag about how Passion Home Health Care has not only helped him with his health, has helped him change his living environment, has helped him change his whole attitude. And matter of fact, he was at the reception this week that we
Yes,
had.
because they went and picked him
They
up
went
and
and
found
picked
a
him up and
place.
made sure that he had an opportunity, not just to sit at home and vegetate, but an opportunity to get out and to be a part of the community. Go
Pa-
ahead, Passion Home Health Care.
Passion Home Health Care is located at 3838 Northwest 36th Street, Suite number 200. The telephone number is 943-5779. That's Passion Home Health Care. If you don't worry, if you aren't able to come home and give your parents the lunch they need, just call Passion Home Care. If you aren't able to take care of them, don't try to do it all yourself. Break yourself down. Call 943-5779. We are really excited this morning because history is going to be made in 1995 as it relates to sports in Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, and in the nation. Well, New Year's greetings today from Leo and Sons Barbecue and Catering, located here on 36 and Kelly in Oklahoma City,
What are you going to brag
Oklahoma.
on, Mom? The ribs or the that special strawberry cake
Oh,
that
I'm
you
going to brag
love?
on all of
You gonna
them.
brag on all of it?
Leo's Family Barbecue and Catering, 3631 North Kelly. You don't have to call, you just go there and they will take care of you. But you know, I get so excited about soul food because when I think of soul food, I think of the headquarters of soul food, Stale's Restaurant. At Stale's, you meet your old friends, but most of all, you get that delicious food. And once you go to Stales, you don't have to worry. You will say, like General MacArthur, I shall return.
Now, where
That's
is Stales located, Mom?
Stale's Restaurant is located on Northeast 23rd Street, right off of Kelly.
A coconut cream pie.
Oh, that lemon pie, those hot rolls, 1100 Northeast 23rd
That
Street
roast beef.
in Oklahoma
Congratulations,
City.
Mrs. Stale.
Oh,
Happy
she's
New
a
Year
dog.
to all of you there at Stale's Restaurant and Leo's Barbecue.
And the hospitality that you receive there. Well, holiday greetings and a happy New Year's to you is from Temple and Sons Funeral Home, located at 2801 North Kelly. Mr. John Temple would like to take this opportunity to thank you because you've been with him this year. You've taken advantage not only of the services, but also of the florist and what have you. If you plan to go to jail, and you do plan to go to jail, if you are stealing something from somebody else, well, what I want you to do is to call 528-3539. Now, write that number down. That's Crawley's Bail Bonds, located at 718 Northeast 36th Street, but you can call them. They are available for 24 hours. 528-3539. Oh, yes, I'm going to remind you of the bachelor's for today because this is the last time in the last week that you will have an opportunity to vote on Ernest Jackson. I'm really proud of that because that's one of my former students, a graduate of Dungy School, and I'm sure the people will be there. That's on New Year's Day. Now, those of you that suffering from historical amnesia, it was on New Year's Day that President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, went into effect, and freed 4.5 million blacks. And if you won't come out to celebrate your own freedom, I don't know what to say about you. That church should be crowded with people that are so glad that those slaves endured, because if they had not, you could be talking about, I'm so glad we got a black court at OU. You better be glad that the black people survived, and the new court is a result of that survival. So the first thing that he should do when he signs in. He should make sure, and we're gonna check on him, that he has his NACP membership. And incidentally, do you have your NACP membership? Let's go over the NACP's victories: opening the doors at Oklahoma University, opening the restaurants in the state of Oklahoma. NACP. Who else can beat that record? Getting rid of segregated housing per se in the state of Oklahoma, the Sidney Hawkins case, NACP. The Emily Freeman case that gave blacks the same salary as whites if they were teaching, NACP. Now, what are you hollering about? What have you done? Well, last week we dedicated our entire program to Oklahoma University Junior, who was crowned Miss Black America. And on Wednesday, a large crowd gathered at the Clara Hotel to celebrate, and it was a celebration. It was something that had never happened before, because here you had all kinds of organizations. You had people from California, from Washington, D.C., from Tulsa, from Lawton, and what have you, there to celebrate. And we have on a telephone a part of that celebration, Mrs. Tate. Good morning.
Good morning, Clara.
How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm just fine, thank you. And yourself?
Oh, I am fine. I understand that you attended that program last week and participated. I want you to tell my radio audience, the most intelligent audience in the world, exactly what you say.
Well, Clara, I was excited to be there because I've known Miss Bashir Ahmad for several years now, and my first encounter with her, I thought, this is an extraordinary young woman. She is really going places because in high school she was on target, she was dedicated of getting her education and just being all that she could be. She has since gone on to the University of Oklahoma, where she is an engineering major, and she's still continuing to do a fantastic job. She's not only just talented in the academic area, she's just a well-versed, well-rounded young woman who is excelling in the arts and excelling in her speaking engagements, and she's just a fantastic young woman. I was so proud to be a part of the program and so proud to be able to say a few words about Bashira because she is such an outstanding young woman. And my reason for being there is because she is an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman, and she is a member of the Kappa Psi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at the University of Oklahoma, and she is, I'm sure, going to continue to do great things with that chapter. And all of us were very proud to be there and share in her glory and her moment of excitement, and she just made a beautiful presentation, just a lovely young woman in so many ways. And also, I was proud for her parents, Joy and Jihad, Dr. Jihad Ahmad, who have just done a wonderful job with Bashira and all of her sisters. And they're just a wonderful, delightful family, and they have all of their girls focused and on target and realizing the value and importance of getting that education.
Well, I certainly thank you, and you are proud of this Zeta too, are you not?
Yes, I am. I was just tickled to be there with all of my other Greek sisters who were well represented. We had deltas and zetas and sigmas, and I'm sure there were alphas and omegas and kappas in the crowd as well. And we just had a wonderful time, and everyone just came together as one big happy family to celebrate the accomplishments of Miss Bashir and of you, Mrs. Luper, in your guidance and in preparing and getting these young ladies ready for the challenge that they faced, and for taking over and winning and coming out and being so successful.
Okay, I told you all that I'm trying to be humble, but when you have as many winners as I have, and you have people that have succeeded in every era. Did you hear my attorney that was there from D.C.?
I certainly did, and I had the pleasure of sitting next to that young man.
Oh, great.
And he was certainly an intelligent young man, and it just makes me proud to be around so many young black people who have gone on to be so successful. I just felt like I could feel it in the room, and then just to look around and see all the college students who were in attendance there was a good feeling also, to know that there are a lot of our young black people who are doing good and positive things.
Well, I'm really proud, and I'm proud of you, and I would like certainly to thank you, and you did a wonderful job.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Luper.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so very kindly. Today, you are going to have a treat. You are going to have a treat that you will always remember. And one treat that you're going to have is you will hear the melodious voice of one of the original sit-inners, a young lady that has gone and made history, Mrs. Goldie Battle Watkins. You will hear from her in just a minute. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and today's show is being made possible by our supporters and sponsors. The Beauty Supply Store, all kinds of hair products, JP Illuster, different products, real human hair. 1807 Northeast 23rd Street, open Monday through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sundays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Special discounts for beauticians and students. Every Wednesday is discount day. Yes, today we are celebrating, and we have a right to celebrate. Clara, you are always so happy. Why should I be sad? Because I couldn't be sad, because I know you, and you are just so sweet and so kind. One thing I like about Christmas, all the Christmas cards that I have received and the greetings and everything, and last night the Amigos Club had their annual holiday celebration, and Lady Ruth Hunter came up with a different kind of game that really stole the show. Johnny Jones directed a quartet she was directing that like Evelyn Pittman used to direct. I didn't know Johnny Jones could do that, but she did it anyway. What a day, what an excitement. Congratulations and happy birthday to Wilma Ray, wherever you are. I understand that you are a year older. Well, one thing about it, you need some raw wings from Custom Catering. Let Raw Wings Custom Catering take care of all of your holiday food needs. They can take care of your party trays and smoked meats. Let us prepare your turkeys and your briskets and your ribs and your black-eyed peas and even your catfish. For further information, call Al or Marilyn Moore, 424-WING or 427-6571. Happy New Year to Marilyn and Al Moore. Goldie? Hello?
Good morning.
Okay. Goldie?
Good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
I've got to make sure that I get Goldie, because I'm telling you that girl is so beautiful. Well, she was beautiful in high school, and she was beautiful when she left Oklahoma City. Hello, Goldie.
Hello, how are you this morning?
Goldie, I'm feeling fabulous. Just think, I'm talking to one of the most outstanding citizens of our own state, Oklahoma. Let's go back, Goldie Battle. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You are the daughter of... Huh?
Jesse Battle.
All right. You attended elementary school where?
Oh, Edwards Elementary School.
From Edwards Elementary School, where did you go?
Certainly to Douglas Junior Senior High School for 1 year, and then Moon Junior High School for the second and third year, and ultimately I graduated valedictorian from Douglas High School.
You graduated at valedictorian.
Correct.
Well, congratulations.
Well, we had some outstanding teachers who helped us realize the value of education and who guided us very effectively while we were at Douglas.
Now, when you left Douglas High School, where did you go?
Oh, I attended Howard, majoring in math and physics, and graduated
wait a minute
there
now.
Phi Beta Kappa.
Wait a minute now. You went to Howard University in Washington, D.C. and majored in what?
Math and physics.
Math and physics. And you graduated how?
Phi Beta Kappa.
Okay, what does that mean?
That is the pinnacle of scholastic organizations for colleges.
Now, after you left Howard University, what did you do?
I worked for a year with the United States Atomic Energy Commission, which is now the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission, for 1 year. Following that, I went to Yale for 2 years, where I got a master's degree in public health.
Now, you went to Yale?
Yes,
For 2 years.
correct, where
What did,
I got a master's degree in public health as a health physicist.
okay, and then what?
Then I went back to the Atomic Energy Commission and worked there for a year. And I got the opportunity of heading up the radioactive materials control program in New York State shortly thereafter. And I moved to Albany, New York in 1968.
All right, and you headed what?
I was the director of radioactive materials control in New York State for the state of New York under Governor Rockefeller at that time.
And then what?
I worked as the director of that program for about 5 years, and then I became a bureau chief for 5 years for all of the radiation safety programs for the state of New York.
And then
And
what?
shortly after that, I became deputy commissioner for the New York State Department of Health. That was in 1979 when I became a deputy commissioner for the state of New York Department of Health.
And then what?
Then I moved to New York City, where I was the director of the Metropolitan New York Regional Office for the remaining 16 years that I worked for New York State.
Now, after then, what did you do?
I retired after supervising 250 people with all those different personalities for 16 years. I retired, and I am now a retiree.
What
And
did
I
you,
have a consulting firm in maternal and child health at this point.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to a graduate of Douglas High School in Oklahoma City. You have heard the places that she has been, and the places that you have never heard of before. Who would have thought it? Well, I did, because you can look in glory in Goldie's eyes, and you, even as a child, you could tell that she was going places that we have never been, and she would see things that she had never seen. Gloria, I understand that during these years you have never forgotten your parents. Was it true that you took your mother to Egypt?
Yes, we were very, very fortunate. I have been interested in tracing my roots for some time, and we wanted to get some sense of the Egyptian culture for ourselves, since that's the seat of civilization for all people. And we spent 2 weeks there a couple of years ago, back in 1990. It was 1993, I believe, that we were there for 2 weeks. And we just had an incredible stay learning about seeing in reality, the pharaohs, the tombs of the pharaohs, the pyramids. We are still perplexed as to how those pyramids were built with the kinds of tools that were available in 3000 B.C. And actually seeing we also visited the Museum of Cairo, where we saw the tomb stones from John the Baptist and several other Christian historical figures. So it covered not only the work and civilization from the Pharaonic period, but also the development of Christianity in that area.
We are talking to one of the original sit-inners. And those of you that have been to the Black History Monument, you have seen her beautiful picture on the monument. What did you think of the monument? I know you have never forgotten us, because you have sent a donation back home each year.
The monument for me represents the black commitment in Oklahoma City to freedom, justice, and self-development. And those are the hallmarks of our people. We frequently don't acknowledge the survivability of our people. Coming here as slaves, probably 2/3 of Africans died en route. And so just surviving that middle passage was an incredible, it spoke to our stamina. And then after a couple of hundred years in slavery, many of us died during that period. We survived that. We survived Jim Crow. And we still have a pride in ourselves, a commitment to excellence, which we must honor and at all times carry ourselves as survivors of kings and queens, knowing that we are here for a purpose and searching for that purpose and living out that purpose in honor and dignity.
You were a part of a successful salute and reception to Miss Black America. What did you think of it?
Miss Luper, I was most impressed with the academic excellence of Miss Black America and Miss Black Oklahoma. Miss Black America is a Regent Scholar. She is also a very talented young woman and is involved in helping to uplift other young black boys and girls in her community. And she's also very attractive, but I think that's coincidental to the development of her intellect, her commitment to community service, and her commitment to her family. And the same thing would apply to Miss Black Oklahoma. And the salute that the community provided them to acknowledge their work and the work of their parents and mentors in developing them to be the kind of young women that they are, that they can serve as role models to others. And I can be inspired by these young women and their accomplishments at such a young age.
Very kind of you to talk to me this morning, and I would certainly like to say, and Calvin's about to die. He has just something that he has to say to you.
Goldie, I just wanted to say once again and publicly, welcome home. It sure is great seeing you, and I'm so proud of you. Every time I pass by the monument, I get a good laugh because I, too, remember some of the funny days and younger days that we had. But congratulations on what you're doing, young lady, and keep it up. We're proud of you.
Congratulations to you and your work for making all this information available to the citizens of Oklahoma City. And I thank you and have a happy, happy New Year and much prosperity.
Thank you so very kindly. The Passion Home Health Care is located in Oklahoma City. They have a staff of trained care professionals that care for the clients in homes performing duties such as dressing changes. They will give lab specimen draws, and the list goes on and on. The nurses carefully monitor the client's medical conditions for any kind of symptoms. In addition, the staff includes certified home health aides that work under the nurse's supervision. Passion Home Health Care was formed out of concern for patients and their families in our community. They felt that these families were not getting the needed services that should have been provided for them. In addition, there are a large number of people that don't realize that these type of services exist. You know it. They are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They appreciate your help. And when your relatives go to the hospital, tell them to call Passion Home Health Care. That telephone number is 943-5779.
Well, you know, that's what I love about the Clara Luper radio shows, because all your advertisers have a special niche that they can fit in here in Oklahoma City and in our lives. Like there's Merlin with insurance, there's Passion with health, there's Gates with his barbershop, there's A.L. Dow with with our eyes. There's the bondsman, there's a car salespeople. All that on the Clara Luper radio show, 1220 on your AM dial. But we're getting down there last 9 to 10 minutes. And I know there are several other items that we want to cover.
Yes, we better tell everybody that the new Miss Black Oklahoma is the former Miss Black Tulsa, Jamie Harris. Jamie Harris is a new Miss Black Oklahoma. Once Miss Ahmad became Miss Black America, she was so happy to give up her crown of Miss Black Oklahoma, and who would not?
Miss
Calvin,
Black Tulsa.
I got to talk to Lady Ruth Hunter. I've just got to talk to Miss
that's
Hunter
no problem.
and see exactly.
This
But
is
let me call the names of these bachelors.
Well, why are you calling the names of the bachelors, Mom?
Tell Miss Hunter that I've got to talk to her today.
I'll
But
go
let
get
me
her
tell
on the
you
phone.
something. Don't you all expect too much of me? If I give you the names of the bachelors and you can't go out and catch one, don't blame me. Now, you don't want me, and you don't want me to go get a rope and drag the bachelors in. All I can do is to tell you about the bachelors, and if you are too lazy to get up over your constitution and catch one of them, don't blame me. The bachelors, the nominees for the Bachelor of the Year: Burley and Nero, Esther Johnson, Clarence Hollins, Tony Moore, Clarence Hildred, Oscar Ray Beals, Emmett Nero, Clarence Day, Ron Norman, Al Dow, Brady Frazier, L.J. Pogue, Big Daddy, the birthday man, John Green Jr., Calvin Scott. Now there you have the list, and next week we'll be able to list Bachelor of the
I
Year.
still
You
didn't
did
make
make
the.
the list,
Well, I
Calvin. Don't
can't
blame
stand
me. I
it.
can't help because
I, I
you
heard that.
made
I
the
had my
list and
eyes
couldn't
closed, and
catch.
I heard that Calvin. I
Okay,
said I
let me
might have
talk
made
to
it this
Letty.
week.
Letty,
Yes,
hello,
how are you doing today,
Letty.
Mrs.
I
Luper?
am
And hello
fine
to
today.
the radio audience. And Calvin, that's all right. I'll nominate you so that you can be on that bachelor list next week. So don't be up crying and murmuring.
I might make
But
it
I
in
want to say
'96,
to
Miss Honor.
all
In
my radio
'95, I think
audience.
I missed my opportunity. But thanks for the thought. I love that about you.
Okay, Calvin. I want to say hello to all the radio audience, and I want to say to them, I hope they had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and the New Year is coming up. I know they're planning for a big New Year, and they have that special New Year dinner all planned. But let's not forget, on tomorrow is Sunday, so let's go to church on tomorrow. And then New Year's will be a wonderful day, a wonderful day. We hope it doesn't snow so that you can get there. And Luper, I want to thank you and all of my club members that was at the club meeting last night. We had a wonderful repast, and I thought the affair and the occasion was just quite unique. And I want to thank all of you for that. And I want to thank all the radio people that listen to us. I want to thank you because a number of times they said, "Oh yes, we hear you on radio," and sometimes it's people from Lawton. I didn't know we went down that far. And then there was another lady from Tulsa. I said, "Tulsa? You mean Tulsa is listening to us?" So I want to say hello to the radio audience down there. And everywhere that they hear our voice, I want to say Happy New Year to all of you.
Well, thank you so very kindly, Letty. I do appreciate it. I had the opportunity, along with my family, to worship at the Tabernacle Baptist Church last Sunday, where we heard a sermon that was out of sight. Reverend Meshach said that some of the Baptists are CMEs, and CMEs mean that they go to church on Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. Thank you for that sermon, Reverend Meshach. It was just wonderful, and I would like to thank the choirs at Tabernacle. We certainly enjoyed it. Now, let me speak now directly to the 1995 Miss Black Oklahoma City contestants and pages. There will be a meeting on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. at Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King. There will be a joint meeting of pages and contestants. On January the 4th, the governor of the state of Oklahoma has declared that to be Miss Black America Day in Oklahoma. There will be a press conference that the governor will have at 2 o'clock at the state capitol. Those of you that are interested can certainly attend. We would also let you know that the Miss Black Oklahoma City contestant and pages will be practicing on Wednesday at 5:30. It is important that every contestant will be there and every page. Now, if I don't have your papers, don't get angry with me because business is business. Today, I would like to once again tell you that the first thing we all should do while we are jumping up saying, "Oh, I'm so glad we got a black coach," we should thank God for the NACP. Now, who is the name? What is the name, Calvin? The man that will take us sooner, booner, booner, sooner, sooner, sooner.
Well, rumor has it,
Rumor
TV
has
has it, radio has it, that man will be John Blake, a former student at OU, former student, I believe, from Sand Springs, Oklahoma born, Oklahoma raised, and coming back to Oklahoma. Looking forward to that career. Looking forward to doing what we can to help him. But, you know, we love OU, we love OSU, we love Langston, we love Central State.
All right, we love
we
all
love
of
it.
our
We're
colleges.
going places in this state that if my grandmother and my grandfather could ever seen this, if they'd ever heard this, I know that they too would be just as happy as we are. But Mom, this is not the end of our last show, and I just want to thank you for being patient with me for a whole year. I know it's taken a lot of patience and a lot of understanding, but you done good.
Okay, Calvin, the people were talking about how beautiful Merlin's house was decorated last night, the outside and the inside. I said, you haven't seen nothing. Our house was beautifully decorated down at Hoffman. We decorated it with mistletoe, and we had fun. Now we must look toward a new year that gives us a new opportunity. a new year with new opportunities. And I would like for all of us to make some resolutions this year. What would happen this week if no black or white person in Oklahoma would kill each other? Let's put killing down. Let's stop it. Let's put stealing down. We don't have to steal. We don't have to kill. We don't have to. Let's make a new resolution that we will do unto others as we would have them do unto us. We don't have to. And I want you to look at your hands and say, with these hands, I will not steal anything from anybody. Calvin, I'm so excited about this being our last Saturday in 1995. And we would like to jointly thank everybody for everything that they have done, for the happiness that they have brought to us.
Well, Mom, I have told you, and I know that those of you that are regular listeners to the Clara Luper Radio Show, I want to thank you for your dedication and for your stick-to-itiveness. I'd also like to ask you that during the year 1996, especially next Saturday, that you call that friend, you call that neighbor, and you invite them to be a part of the Clara Luper Radio Show. Ours is a show that is open to you. I've almost forgotten to say hi, Hazel. This is our last Saturday. Look forward to greeting you again in 1996.
That's our last Saturday in 1995,
okay.
and somebody will be
But I
here.
love being a part of the show, and I love working with you, Mom. I love working with all the projects that you have going. I invite all of you out there to pay attention to the Clara Luper Radio Show. Be a part of it.
Calvin, I got a call from who? What was that important call?
The young man that had built the 3 snowmen called Mama's house. He called because of the fact that he heard that Mama could bring about a change in him. But he hasn't called back. She was gone.
Oh, he's going to call back.
But that just goes to show that he's thinking, and that in itself is the beginning of a change, and it glows a bright light for 1996.
As I look at the clock on the wall, I know it's time for Clara Luper to say goodbye. And as I say goodbye, let me thank you. And one thing that I know that you do, you love me because you prove it to me. You're proving through your flowers, your gifts, your calls, and whatever. And what else could I ask? Goodbye, Oklahoma City. Next year will be 1996, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Make it a safe New Year.
With your host,
KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.
The church is located at 5400 South Byers, inviting you to service. On Sundays, Sunday school begin at 9:30 a.m. and Sunday morning worship at 11 a.m. Midweek service every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And now,